So, as you can see, we're back for another First Impressions, and you already know by the title what wing this is that we're flying, but
alright, this has me nervous.
I'm going to leave the first few minutes here unedited, that way you can just kind of see my process, see my thought process, see how this wing is kind of making me a little nervous. So,
what is
I'm
going
going to
on?
let this go, and then we'll talk a little bit more
I
about
feel
the
like
wing.
something is... Hold on. Let me... Yeah, and there's something like... Something feels weird.
I have it with those wings too. The dog is an all different.
Yeah, there we go. That's good. Now we grab this one.
Always take your time when you
Yeah.
take your time, don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
Something feels off, just don't do it.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, I don't like the rigid part in these toggles. I don't like it.
It's brand new. It's not broken in.
But it's got a bar in there. Alright, start me up.
It was already fucked up.
Yeah.
It's out.
I'm gonna walk forward and put the tension a little bit.
And I tried to boost the audio when he was talking, lower it when I was talking so that you could kind of hear him, but he gave a good piece of advice there. We're flying a new wing. These are risers that I'm not familiar with, and something just didn't quite feel right. And like you said, if you have to, unhook and rehook. If something doesn't feel right, just don't do it. You know, there's no rush. There's no reason why we have to just get up in the air. If you're hooking up and something doesn't look right, something doesn't feel right, just stop, redo it, check it over, double check, make sure everything is good. Especially on a wing like this, it's making me nervous.
Really?
And unfortunately, launch 1 was blown.
Yeah, I have a tendency to bring my hands forward.
Your hands stay here.
Yeah.
You did this, what you did this. You move and push your base.
Yeah.
Your hands straight. Just move, hands don't move.
Yeah.
So, what we were talking about there is something that I know that sometimes I do and struggle with, and it's the issue that I had with the flow RPM on my first couple launch attempts with it, is I tend to bring my hands forward and push into the risers, push my hands forward to try and like lift the wing up. But if you put that much tension on the A's, on a small wing especially, you'll take a frontal collapse. That's what happened to me on that launch. So need to keep your hands back. The other thing that didn't really help me there was I generally use my left wingtip as a reference. You can feel a lot, but I always watch my left wingtip as it's coming up to see the position of the wing and make sure that it's coming up straight. And obviously all of the weird stuff that was happening on that launch was on the right wingtip, so it took me a second or two longer to realize what was going on.
I'm gonna just try to gently step into it. We got a nice straight headwind. Oh shit! Shit! Woo! Holy smokes! Ah. Oh shit! It's rough up here too. Need to get a bit of altitude. Get to smoother air. Woo! Steady out, girl, steady out. It's rough. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but we're on a warp. And we're on a really freaking small one. This is a 15-meter warp. It definitely has me nervous. Definitely has me nervous, but we got up. I know I have a tendency of being a little heavy on my A's and on small hot wings. You can't do that. You got to keep your hands back. So that's what happened on my first launch. I don't know if you could hear Carl. I knew I did it though. I knew I did it. Man. first impressions, Dudek Warp 15. I mean, up in the air, I guess the wing doesn't look all that much smaller. A little bit, but... Oh, I switched my watch. I don't have my GPS watch because I was about to just pack up and go, but... Wing feels good. Feels stable now. Not too twitchy. I watched Carl and them fly wings for the first time, and they're like, you know, doing barrel rolls, wing overs, crazy shit. My first flight doesn't go like that. Much more calm. Man, it's pretty rough down low though. This thing was bucking, and I think I did sit down a little bit sooner. There's a lot of, like, this wing really wants to go fast. It's the most I've ever seen a wing move forward and back on a launch. Like, it's super sensitive forward and back with the with the pitch on your launch. I mean, the best launch you could honestly do is like when I get a perfect launch and I just gas it right when it gets above your head and just haul ass, you know? Like, that's the best thing that you could do with this wing. But, you know, first flight on it, man, it's very sensitive. Woo. And it's rough down low. I don't even know what time it is. Yeah, this could be a hairy landing. Woo! It's bumpy, really bumpy. Woo! Getting thrown around a lot, man. Alright, we're going to climb up a little bit more, kind of feel out the turns a little bit more. I would like to trim this wing out, but it's so bumpy, I wouldn't dare do it right now. Man. Woo! Holy crap. This thing is so fast. Holy crap. It's really fast. It felt like I was doing 60 miles an hour right there. Man, when I get low though, it's super bumpy. These small wings like this, they're like very busy. Very busy. But there's not a whole lot of time just to like relax. I don't know how far I'm gonna dive into super hot wings like this, you know? At least as of yet. Eventually, but doesn't feel bad. Look how shifty our wind is though. One more. Because the wind is so shifted on me, I'm gonna make another approach. With this wing, I want everything to be perfect. Alright. Man, winds are very shifty. Ooh. Woo. Shit. Well, that was spicy. Oh, freaking lose my GoPro. What? Very fast. More than the free ride. I mean, the climb rate was good. I didn't have a problem with that. The only thing that kind of, like, it's very pitch like happy. It like, it's very sensitive. Yeah. But yeah, I can tell, like, it has good lift. If I could nail the launch like you guys do, and like every once in a while I can get, like, I took too long to come onto power. Yeah. I mean, it's my first flight on a tiny wing, so I was a little nervous. But I was too late to come on power. If I would have powered and just hit it right away, I would have been gone. Yeah, no. No. There's no hesitating.
And like you guys heard me talking about right there with Carl, with this real small wing like this, you can't just throttle along and taxi it. Like, you've got to get it up above your head, get on throttle, and go. Because these wings are so active and so sensitive to inputs that, yeah, you can't just run along a field taxiing it forever. I mean, you can, but you can see, like, how all over the place this wing is when I do that. And here's my landing. So, the way I like to land is to kind of get up to a certain altitude, about 30 to 50 feet, and then dump the throttle, and you kind of swoop down, build up some energy, and then you can get a little foot drag. So that's what I was trying to do here, but this wing just takes a little bit longer than the other wings that I'm used to at recovering from that. So yeah, I had to pull brake and kind of come out of it a little early. We got a little deep in our foot drag, but that's alright. We made it work. And there was a head in our video right at the perfect spot where it was like in the middle of the foot drag. But hey, we do what we can. And so that's our first impressions of the Dudek Warp 15 meter. And we're just going to walk through and, look at the Dudek website and the information on this warp. So you can see here it states that this wing is designed purely for advanced pilots with winning in mind. We strongly recommend a minimum of 100 hours. Which, yeah, I think I'm right about 100 hours, so we're good there. But, 100 hours on a similar class wing with a minimum of 300 hours total paramotor flight. Yeah, way off that. But, anyway. So, as we're scrolling down through this, you can just see some of the information on the wing. Most of you are probably familiar with the Dudek Warp. So, obviously, the color scheme we had here was the Energy. If I'm honest, it's probably my least favorite of the three. I like the Harmony. I honestly think that maybe the Passion might be my favorite of these color schemes. But, either way, I think they all look pretty good. So, this is a 15 meter here, and you can see our weight rating for advanced or experienced pilots is 120. So, I do fit within the weight rating. I'm basically 100% loaded on this wing for the max takeoff weight in competition. So standard takeoff weight, 75 to 100, so you should be a little lighter. And also, the one thing that I noticed when I was carrying this thing is, man, it's really light. 4 kilograms. This wing weighs virtually nothing. I mean, it was definitely the lightest wing I've ever felt, just carrying it across the field. But my first impression thoughts. So, thought 1. I think that this wing might be a little too small for me, just because of how active and how sensitive it is. I'm not sure I like that, but all the other aspects of the warp really appeal to me. Maybe if you guys have watched quite a few of my videos, you know that I kind of have this, I wouldn't say an obsession, but I have this desire for speed in a wing. I always want to be on the fastest wing, if possible. I like being fast. It just opens up so many doors for you. You can get to further away places. You can catch up if you fall behind. You know, if I take a little detour and want to dawdle around and then I want to zoom up and catch back up to my friends, I can do that if I'm on a faster wing. But if I'm on the slowest wing, I have to like preemptively figure out where they're going to go and try and cut them off and make up ground wherever I can. So I like to be on a fast wing, but I want a stable wing. I don't want a wing that I'm constantly fixing oscillations and that I can never just sit back and relax. And I feel like the warp is something that would fit into that category. So I think I'm gonna try and fly a bigger warp. The 15 is a little hot for me, in my opinion. I'll probably fly it again, and I'll try to get you guys all like full information, the full review with numbers, everything. But I'm not sure that the 15 warp is for me. I'm not sure the 15 warp is for 99.895% of people flying paramotors. So I find myself in the majority on that, but it was definitely a cool experience and it was a fun wing. And like I said, I would take it up again, but it commands respect. So I have a lot of respect for that wing. So one of my friends has an 18-meter warp that's off for repairs, and when that comes back, I'll probably end up flying it, and maybe, potentially, I can find a Dudek Warp 2 to fly as well, because I think that might be, who knows, a warp could be my next wing. You never know.